All right, well, good evening, Democrats of Orange County. How are y'all doing? We're super excited to be here. I want to start, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Samuel Vilches Santiago. I'm the chair of the Orange County Democratic Party. I'm super excited to be here with y'all. And I want to thank our hosts, Joni Sherm and Roger Naiswanger, for opening their doors and hosting this beautiful reception. Also, thank you to all of the Orange County Democracy Society members, especially those who have renewed their membership. We really appreciate your support. If you haven't yet, you can find QR codes around the room to get that done. I'll also want to call out a few of our elected officials and former electeds. Our public defender, Melissa Vickers, is here. State Representative Johanna Lopez. Our very own school board member from this district, Stephanie Vanos. We also have former Orange County Mayor, Linda Chapin. We have former Winter Park Mayor, Phil Anderson. Former Commissioner, Bill Siegel. Thanks for having me, sir. We have a former Judge, Maura Smith. I saw her somewhere in the back.
Marty Haney.
Oh yeah, our former Comptroller Marty Haney. Our former Commissioner Marty Sullivan, also here. We have a great group of people. We also have a few candidates. If you're a candidate, if you can quickly say hi. We have former State Rep Tom Keene, also a candidate. And then we also have Dr. Jane Amon, who's running for House District 37, Mira Tano, Roger Chapin. Super excited to have somebody else. Yeah, I just called Mira. Mira Tano running for the City Council, Roger Chapin also in City Council.
Nancy Robinson.
Nancy Robinson, former school board member from this district as well. We're super excited to have you here. It's July of the off year. And I can tell you we're out there doing the work. Here in Orange County, we have a year-round organizing program so that we can meet people where they are at all times. The last cycle, because of your support, we were able to conduct over 5 million individual voter contacts here in Orange County. Over 5 million individual voter contacts here in Orange County. And that's why, despite the fact that there was a red wave of 6 points across the state and across the country, we were able to flip 4 seats from red to blue in the last election. And we couldn't have done it without your support, and obviously without the support of our incredible volunteers. We're a fully volunteer-run team. Here we have Susan Windmiller, our development chair. Nicole Calvin, who was saying hi at the front, she's our precinct activities chair. Garrett Cornell, who's also our membership chair. And you'll get to meet a lot of people from our team. But the point is, we're a fully volunteer team that puts in 40, 50, 60 hours a week because we care. Not about the color blue, not necessarily about the Democratic Party, although we do, but we care about the people we love. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. A lot of people have made many of us believe that the two parties are the same. And I call BS. Because they're not. Because when you elect Democrats, you get a set of policies. When you elect Republicans, you get a complete different set of policies. And we're facing it right now. We just had a press conference this morning with Congressman Frost and Congressman Soto talking about the budget bill that just passed. The Republicans spent the last 4 years, from 2021 to 2025, talking about the affordability crisis, what they call it. They blame President Biden for the prices of eggs. They blame President Biden for the housing crisis. They blame the Democrats for X, Y, Z. They've been in power now for 6 months at the federal level. Eggs are more expensive. Gas is more expensive. Housing is more expensive. Our food is about to be more expensive because they want to deport the exact same people and farm workers who are picking up the food that allow us to actually have affordable groceries. And so it is on us to go out there and make the case as to why the Democratic Party is the party that is better not only for the working class, the middle class, but for all Americans. And that's the reality. If you look at the last 50 years, almost every single job that's been created in our economy has been created under a Democratic president. Every single time. And we go through the same cycle. We elect a Democrat, the economy's doing well, we're getting jobs, et cetera, et cetera. Then we elect a Republican, we go almost into a recession, or we go into a recession. Then we get a Democrat to clean it back up, and then we get a Republican again. We have to stop that. And this is why this group is so critical. Because we are not only donors and strategists and people who are volunteering, but at the end of the day, we're also people who know people. And it is incumbent upon us to go out there and make the case as to why protecting our democracy, fighting for the things that matter to us is so critical in this moment. And you can count on us to make that case to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of voters across Orange County, to turn out the Democrats we need to turn out in every single election so that we can continue to win, and to continue doing the work and showing up everywhere. But we're gonna always need your help. Now, a lot of people, obviously after the last few elections in Florida, are very skeptical about the state of Democrats statewide. And you're right to be skeptical, right? However, we have an incredible opportunity in 2026. Did you know that Kamala Harris in 2024 got more votes than Ron DeSantis in 2022? What does that tell you? That there's enough of us out there that if we show up, if we turn out, that's the path. On the Attorney General's race, I would say Kamala Harris got more votes than Uthmeier, but Uthmeier didn't get any votes, right? So it doesn't really matter. But that's to say, we have a great team here in Orange County, powered and fueled by your support. And now we have some great candidates running statewide. And in this moment that is so dark in our country's history, we have to ask ourselves, will we rise and do the work? Or will we sit back and continue to complain? I choose to do work, and I hope you can join us too. With that, I'd love to introduce our hosts, Joni and Roger. Thank you.
I want to tell you a fun story. I have a friend named Candy Crawford, and I ran into her at an event, and she asked me if I wanted to meet David Jolly. And I said, sure. Just like all of you, we know him from MSNBC, and we know he really states the issues very powerfully. And so I went. He didn't know, I don't think that you even knew I was coming, but I went to a meeting that he had with some black pastors who looked at me and said, you know, who's she? When I was taken into the room. Anyway, I was able to listen to that and really see the heart of David Jolly, and know that that's the kind of candidate that I would like to follow for the state of Florida, my native state. And I said something to Susan Windmiller about how I felt about that and everything. So later I get a call from Susan and Samuel. Yeah. Samuel. And they said, you know, would you be willing to host something if we could maybe get these two guys that are here today? And so I said, well, maybe, you know, I don't know. And they said, well, there'll probably only be 40 or 50 people. Because it's summertime, people are on vacation, and we're not all ready to come and, you know, hear politics right now. So we started out like that. And along the way, I had them come over and see what the parking situation was, because we've had 60 people here for a granddaughter's high school party one time, but beyond that, I didn't know. So we kind of were saying, well, it won't be any more than that. So then it started evolving, as you know, and we were getting RSVPs, and we realized, wow, there's a great interest, and this is a wonderful opportunity for the people that are signing up. So this turned out to be just really wonderful, and I'm so happy all of y'all came, and I'm sorry it's hot, and I'm sorry that a lot of you have to stand up, but still, this is a success, and it really happened because of the democracy society. So I really encourage you too to look into it and be a part of it and support it, because we can do great things in Orange County, but it really goes beyond, and certainly. So, Roger, you want to say?
Well, this is all new to me. I spent most of my career in government on, the high-level administrative position. And as a result, my position always was, I don't get involved in the politics of the matter, which sometimes complicated things. But so this is all new to me. And really, along with Joni and our vetting candidates, we came up with the two names of our speakers today as people who really seem to be what we believe. We want to start with character. To me, it ends with character. You don't go beyond character. And if you find people with the right character willing to provide their time, their energy, their stamina, everything that they have to the job that it takes to do a good job in public administration, we ought to follow them. And so we have vetted these two and believe they have those attributes. And so we welcome you to our home to hear more.
So, David, we're going to start with you.
Hey, thank you, Joni. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Joni and Roger, thank you for doing this. Jennifer, I know, and Phil, helping with the Democracy Society, and always Susan Windmiller. Always. Somebody I consider a true counselor in my political endeavors. My wife and I live over in Pinellas County, and we have young kids, 6 and 4. Every day's a Monday, for those of you who have kids or grandkids, excuse me, that age. But I was sharing with someone it's the perfect time to run for governor because they're out of diapers and not yet on social media. So it's we're kind of in the sweet spot here. Some of you have thanked me for my work on TV. I appreciate that. Thank you for being part of the family. I mean that, it's a family. Thank you for being a part of the family the last 8 years, I suppose, that I've been doing that. For those who have not been regular viewers, you've probably saved a lot of money on alcohol or counseling or whatever your therapy is, so give mightily with those savings to the Democracy Society of Orange County tonight, if you will. Look, I'm going to be very brief because I want us to hear from the next Attorney General of the state of Florida here. I want to share a couple of things with this group. First, I didn't recognize Samuel, and I told him this at Lead Blue last week. Truly, we have been everywhere across this state. We're leaving it all on the field. We're doing town halls, small group meetings, whatever it takes to change the direction of the state of Florida. But one of the questions I often get is, what do we do about young people? And I always say, look to what's happening in Orange County. Look to what's happening in Orlando. And look to guys like Samuel who are leading us there. I promise you, across the entire state, in Orlando, the ability to mobilize and activate and get out voters, young voters, is happening in a way it's not happening in the rest of the state. You are in a place of real leadership here. So Samuel, thank you for what you're doing. A couple very quick things. First, I want you to know this. We can win. Yes. We can win next November. I promise you, we can win. We are in the midst of a national change environment and in the midst of a generational affordability crisis right here in the state of Florida. We can win. The second thing I want you to think about, though, is math. What I like about being a Democrat is we get to accept math and science and math and public health and vaccines and academia and diversity and all the other things that actually keep our society going. There are not enough Democratic voters in the state of Florida to elect a Democratic governor, a Democratic attorney general just by ourselves. That's math. We can't wish that away. But the answer is not to dilute away from democratic values. The answer is to amplify democratic values in places where we failed to amplify them before. And I start by talking about values because it's very important. The way we build a coalition that fights for and represents who we are as the Democratic Party, but also brings in people who may not be registered Democrats, is we lead with our values. What I see is 3 values that are fundamental to the Democratic Party, but fundamental to the state of Florida, to the country, and to who we are and who we should be as a people. The economy should work for everyone. Everyone. Not just the rich and the reckless. The economy should work for everyone, and it's not working for everyone right now. The second value is the government should actually serve its people. Should provide services to its seniors, to its veterans, to its storm victims, for those who need health care, those who need excellence in public education. The government should provide for the people. And the third value is we should be a state, and we are a party, where everyone is welcome and celebrated and lifted up, regardless of the color of your skin, who you love, who you worship, or where you were born. You're welcome here in the state of Florida, and you're celebrated for the contributions you make to our culture and to our economy. Those are values. Those values cannot be argued. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. Confront those values and tell us why that's wrong. Because that will put MAGA in a very tough spot. Why are you against the economy working for everyone? Why are you against the government actually efficiently providing services to its people? Why are you for marginalizing people? Because those aren't just democratic values, those are values of who we are in Florida and should be values of who we are as a country as well. We use those values then to attack the policy issues that we need. We have an affordability crisis driven largely by an insurance market that has collapsed. It's collapsed and it's not coming back. The answers Republicans have is to bring in underfunded, undercapitalized firms, allow them to ship their profits out of state and keep their losses here. And when the big storm hits, Republicans actually give them a little bit of a bailout from the hurricane fund, and then the firms leave the state. That's not a solution. I believe we need a state catastrophic fund, fully remove hurricanes and natural disaster coverage from the private market, put it in a fully funded state cat fund. But we also have a property tax crisis now that is a generational crisis. 20 or 25 years ago, the issue was longtime homeowners couldn't stay in their homes, right? Many of you who were here during the run-up of real estate values in the 2000s. It led to generational reform, save our homes and portability. The problem now is inverted. First-time home buyers can't handle the boomerang of the property tax bill in the second year they own the property. Between insurance and higher taxes, housing is out of reach. So what does generational reform look like that keeps save our homes and portability, but brings in maybe a stepped-up basis of 3 or 4 years for new-time home buyers? There are answers to the affordability crisis. Instead of building highways that get tolled where you have to pay $10 just to get to work, why are we investing in transit and mass transit and multimodal transportation? And how about part of the affordability crisis, which is actually at its root a moral question? We have abandoned public education in the state of Florida, and it's wrong. It's wrong. It is a moral wrong that Florida teachers are paid 50 out of 50 states. That's a moral wrong. It's a political wrong as well. We need to be a party that celebrates public education, rebuilds over the next decade public education in the state of Florida, reforms the voucher program, ensure that if a school is receiving state money, they have to provide the same services and the same standards. If a first grader needs an IEP, you don't get to kick that first grader out of your school. You should have to provide that IEP. These are reforms that, as Samuel said, Republicans won't do. They won't do it. Democrats will. There is an opportunity to win this race and change the direction of the state of Florida. Now, I want to share something with you about, I'll close with this, the last 5 minutes, everything I just said. This is very important. Very important. Because I know we're in Orange County, I've met a lot of former Republicans tonight. We need Republican voters, folks, in this race. We need independent voters in this race. Nothing I have said tonight has anything to do with the President of the United States. Now, that is not to say we give up fighting on two fronts. I have made my position clear on the President of the United States since I was a Republican in Congress and became the only one to call on him to drop out of the race. My passions about the direction he's taking us have been clear. They've been on TV. I've been public about it. But this race is about the governorship of the state of Florida. It is not about the President of the United States. And so as we fight the battles on multiple fronts, keep those passions about the president, engage in those battles as well, just do it in a separate email. then when you're talking about the governor's race or the attorney general's race. Because what Jose, myself, and others on the state ballot candidate have an opportunity to do is return to the responsible administration of government in the state of Florida. And when we win, we can fight the battles that push back not just on the direction we're going in the state of Florida, but nationally also. Statewide races are very different. It's how you get an Andy Bashir in Kentucky. It's how you get a Steve Bullock in Montana. It's how you're going to get a JJR and a David Jolly in the state of Florida. Because as we focus in on the responsible administration of government, leading with our values and attacking an affordability crisis, creating a Florida where everyone's welcome, we can win. We can win. I know we can. I mentioned our young kids. Our 6-year-old daughter. Those of you who have multiple kids, you know, as parents, we never understand how 2 kids come out so differently. Our 6-year-old is going to be just fine in life. We're going to set up the guardrails, she'll ping pong off them, she'll be just fine. Our son's never going to leave the house. But one night I was reading a bedtime story to our daughter, and she interrupts me because that's what she likes to do. She says, "Dad, will I be like you when I grow up?" And, right, it was one of those moments, you read about it, you see it on TV. It struck me. But what unsettled me the most was very authentically, my immediate reaction was, I hope not. Right? It unsettled me, it shocked me. And I realized as I unpacked it 2 reasons. First was just the protective parent. You think about the skint knees, the boyfriends, the girlfriends, the miss the baseball team or the soccer team, and you want to prevent your kids from heartache and disappointment. We'll do the best we can there. But the second was that traditional lens of, is she asking if she wants to go into politics? Now, I will point out, she did say, will I be like you? She didn't say, I want to be like you. I'm not sure what she was testing. However, look, as I've thought about it more, I've realized any young child who wants to go into politics and change the world, God bless them. Do it. Go do it.
Yeah, right.
But my immediate reaction was, I hope not. Because I was thinking about the toxicity of the world in which we live. How broken our politics are. How angry and vicious and toxic. And thinking about a world in which our daughter right now is going to grow up with different rights than our son. And I thought, boy, I hope this entire episode that we're in right now is over by the time our child has the opportunity to determine what she wants to do with her life. That is very much part of why we're in this race. I could have gone through life never being a candidate again, but this is the moment where we can change the world. When I say we, not David Jolly, not JJR. We. The reason a former Republican, a former independent, a proud Democrat is running for governor of the state of Florida is because we have a moment as voters in Florida to put an end of 20 years of the wrong direction and reset Florida around the values that are right for us and for our kids. The economy should lift everyone up. The government should serve them, and everyone should be welcome regardless of who you love, the color of your skin, who you worship. Those are the values of the Democratic Party. Those are the values that will allow us to win next November. Thank you all very much.